And whilst Brother Sankara is doing that, I'll just say that, yeah, it could go the energies there's a lot of energy in the room, and you've come with your energies, we've all come with our energies, and if we don't open the space and call on the rightful energies, beginning with the ultimate energy, and then moving it way through to all of our ancestral energies and so on, we could be exchanging in our effort to do the touch and the feel, all kinds of things. So the second version of that, you could see where that went a bit pear-shaped because we were all feeling suddenly what's going on. But this ultimately is a space where we're learning anyway and exchanging, so nothing lost, everything gained.
Family ancestors for each and every one of us who's here, who's watching over us, who's guiding us. We also acknowledge and ask you to join us tonight. Mama Sasaya, Mother Earth, and all the divine forces, the forces of nature, which we're also part of. We acknowledge you and also ask you to be with us. Right now we're gathered here as a family to learn, to understand, to partake, and to go forward with our lives with all that we are here to hear and see and learn and take away with us. We ask that all the energies of goodness, of love and harmony remain with us in this room, and when we leave, we ask that you also take us back under those principles and guidance. We send our prayers and energies out to our family, friends and colleagues who are outside of this small country. To the continent, to the motherland, America, the Caribbean, the rest of Europe, wherever our family members are and extended families are, we send our prayers and energies out that they are also well right now. And right now, we just give thanks, praise, honor, and glory for all that you've done, all that you're doing, and all that's yet to be done. And we give thanks by saying, Medawasi, 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 Oyeradon, Folobora, Madupwe, Asheo.
Wow. Now I feel ready. How about you? I feel officially grounded now, and officially we can open. So, greetings. Welcome to the Thursday Club. My name's Iola. Am I echoing? Firstly, we have Dalian Adolfo from Ancestral Voices. I don't know how many of you may have heard of Ancestral Voices. Have you? Who's got the DVD? Yes? Okay, if you haven't, then please go to the back in the break where V is. V, his wife, Adolfo, is the co-founder of Ancestral Voices. Do you want to say a few words?
About myself or about Ancestral Voices? Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Dalian. That's my wife Verona in the back. And we're the co-founders of Ancestral Voices, which is an educational initiative we set up in 2010, so it's been about 8 years now, with the express intention to destigmatize and demystify a lot of the negativity that we know or surround African spirituality, which is why it's still the last frontier that most black people don't want to cross. The minute they hear the word, they say it's evil or voodoo or devil worship. So that's been our intent, and yeah, that's what we do. So looking forward to share with you.
Thank you, Dalian. Next, we have the lovely Yvonne J. Douglas. She's a healing coach and also an author. I'm going to let her introduce herself as well, because I don't think I can do her justice, to be honest with you. But I'll give you the microphone.
Thank you. Good evening. Greetings, everyone. So, I am a starseed alchemist. That's my official title now. I used to be called the healing coach, but we evolve, don't we? We change, we develop. And my journey started off growing up as a Christian, a Jehovah's Witness. So from there to there is a big evolvement. And due to my practices and my beliefs now, or my knowing, I prefer to call it knowing as opposed to belief, I've lost lots of family members. But it's your own individual path. I always say your path is your path, and no matter what other people say. So I'm a great believer advocate for the shadow work that needs to be done when we embark on a spiritual course or spiritual journey. And that's a little bit about me, a very little bit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. And the Star Seed Alchemist. I was actually there when she was going through the evolution, so it should stick now. Next, we have the wonderful brother Edison, who is the founder of Ancestral Essence. Again, he has a stall and his partner, lovely partners at the back there, with some lovely oils there from Ancestral Essence Company. So in the break time, please do go and patronize, talk to them as well. But in background music, of course. I will do the housekeeping officially, but officially, please do put your phones on silent, please. And I'll hand over to you, brother. Of course, yes.
Hi, so I'm not going to stand, if you don't mind. Sorry, I don't normally stand when we do classes. My name's Edison Igbanji, as she said. I started off Ancestral Essence about 5 years ago, I think. We started doing classes, first in North London, now we've just gone to West. We specialize in ancestral connection. So when we talk about spirituality, we're literally talking about the spiritual reality within you. I might be jumping ahead. But essentially what we're trying to do is for you to understand the mysteries of yourself and where your thoughts come from, how they're created, and why you are as you are, and the best way to go about fixing the situations and issues that you have. If you can't win the battle within yourself, it doesn't matter what else is going on in life. So we tend to focus on that, and today, when we're debating, it's going to be for me to always take us back to you. Okay? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Edison. Up next, we have Dr. Michelle Yara Santov. You've heard a little bit from her at the beginning, and she is a highly accomplished, in her field. She's also an author, but I'll let her introduce herself. She's coming all the way from, well, she's been here for many years, but she's a proud Guyanese, as is one of my team members over there, Nicola, and Vanika is from representing Jamaica. But yes, I'll hand over to you for you to introduce yourself for me, please.
Greetings again, everybody. I don't know whether I should stand up. I feel very peer pressure-y now. It's like, what bit do I do? But I understand why you're sat down. We're all now at the same level, right? So yeah, I am a spiritual practitioner. I don't know what else to really say. I'm similar to Brother Dalian and Verona on that mission to elevate us to our knowing and our growing in our traditions ancestrally, spiritually, and obviously evolving, as Brother Edison says, to that connection that is you. It's going to come from you, which is why it's important for us to talk about demystifying, because a lot of the times it is this mystical, mystified thing, and we don't know. So my mission is to try and make this as simple and as basic as we can get it down, so you realize the importance of us and you in the collective as part of the process of our decolonization and our spiritual collective
questions,
growth.
okay? So the first we're going to start with is from the very basics of identifying firstly. So in order to understand, you need to identify. So we want to understand, what do we actually mean by spirituality, and actually how does that differ from quote-unquote African spirituality? So that is the actual ultimate question for you. What is spirituality, and what do we mean, and what can we understand by African spirituality? I don't know who wants to go first. No pressure. Do we want to do ladies first, or elders first? This is the only time when it's really acceptable to say that. Yeah? Okay, Dalian, do you want to break the ice?
Yeah, sure. Okay. No problem. So the question being, what is spirituality?
Yeah.
To be honest, spirituality is everything. Everything that you can think of. Everything that manifests and is of creation. So when we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about essence, the very essence of things. You know, we call ourselves physical bodies because when you look in the mirror, you see this thing reflected back at you. But you know that the very thing that gives you your awareness is something that you've never seen. Yes, so this is what I'm talking about when I say we're talking about essence, because, you know, even the term spirit, because obviously we're limited by the language that we speak, so some of the concepts we may not be able to go in, should we say, as in-depth as you would if you were maybe even speaking an African language. But we're talking about really living in alignment with nature. So when we look at nature, nature is, in essence, a series of rituals. We have the daytime, we're now going into the nighttime. When it's the daytime, we are awake. When it's nighttime, it's usually the time when you go to bed. So nature itself is a process of ritual. We have seasons. One time is cold, then the other time it becomes a bit warmer, then it becomes very hot. But all these things work in such a way that everything is kept in a state of balance. So we can say spirituality is about energies interacting to form balance. If we look at our fingers, if all your fingers were the same length, you know, you wouldn't even be able to grasp anything. So difference becomes very important. This is why we have seasons. So spirituality is about essence. It's about energy. Because the human being itself, the physical aspect you see itself, is also energy. It's just congealed energy. But your real self, what you might call your spirit, is the immaterial aspect of it. Okay? Hence why we have plants that can grow, and we know they get what science will call oxygen from the air. Okay? But that oxygen you never see. But we know it's there because all you have to do is hold your nose for 5 minutes, and we'll be having a 9 nights for you in 2 weeks. So what keeps you alive is not even the food you're eating, but it's this very thing that you never see. Yeah, or can touch. So that's what I would say spirituality is, your very essence. And when we say African, we're just denoting a particular landmass from which these understandings and wisdoms were first conceptualized. That's what I would say.
So yes, in agreement with everything you've said. It's to me, it's the interconnectedness of energy and how we are connected to everything. We are spiritual beings having a human existence. And when we connect to our spirit self, our God self, our higher self, that is just on a totally different level to our human self. And when we are connected, and then we can connect to nature, plants, Mother Earth, spirit realm, it's just another way of being, and it's who we truly are at our essence, actually. It's who we truly are, and we are limitless beings. We've been sold a lie in the limits that they place on us. There's a phrase that they say, but you're only human. Whenever anybody tells me that, I say, no, I ain't. I'm not just human. Primarily, I'm a spirit being living a human existence. We all are, and we're all connected to everything, and everything is energy. And yeah, that's what spirituality is to me.
Okay, a simple sentence for what spirituality is for me is your spirit in this reality. You're here to essentially master the ability to use that conscious mind that you have, that which looks out at the world and basically interprets the world based on what is fed back. You are the actual watcher, the thinker. We say that that inner voice that you have, the fact that whenever you're doing anything, you require that inner voice in order to be able to do so. We have a saying that we say, you do not read, you listen. Don't you? You listen for that voice. Whenever you're reading, you actually say out the word. And when you say out the word, you generate an image. That's why people, when they used to read books, it sets off your imagination, no? And you start seeing what you're reading. We don't realize that we actually think in pictures. Whenever you're doing anything, what you do is basically create a little mini movie for yourself. So when you're hearing words, what people are saying, or we say you don't even hear, you visualize. As I'm speaking now, you're trying to visualize what the hell am I talking about. All right? But essentially, for me, spirituality is the ability to master that essence of who you are. Once you appreciate that, it allows you to travel deeper within your mind. It's not so much about the external world and whatever's going on. Because if you ask a blind man what the stars looks like, he can't help you. So it's what you see in your mind, how you react to that information. When we push it further and we take it into your ancestors and stuff like that, because that's where we say we focus, it's merely based on the fact that as you think in pictures, once you have a picture in your mind, you essentially then have an internal conversation with yourself, like you're probably having now, asking yourself, what am I thinking, what is he saying? And something is answering you back. Something is communicating with you back every time you're having an internal conversation. In fact, before you speak, you have to have that internal conversation first. For me, that's what spirituality is, understanding the stages of your mind, how you see something from beginning to end, how you get to that point where you're comfortable with who you're speaking with within your mind. Some people don't enjoy that voice because it's down, it puts them down. But once you actually find out who you're speaking to, how you're speaking to them, that voice can give you advice on what you do. All of us say, somebody told me something, or something told me to do this. It's to find out who that is, how you work with that, and how you use that to improve your life. Spirituality has always been about you and how you master this external world. Many people have told you, you should be this, you should be that, you should be this, you should be just you. All they can sell you is a belief for you to trust outside of yourself instead of inside of yourself. As far as African spirituality, yes, we were the originators of many thoughts. And you can go around the world and find people say similar things from where they come from, and seers and psychics. But again, everyone will say that they came from Africa first. So that was the homeland. The human being right now is in decline because he believes he's the human, not the being. Do we understand? Yeah? You're actually the being, and the essence of how you use that and use that in that body determines how you live your life or what you think of yourself. For me, that's what spirituality, hopefully we go into more as we go along. Okay?
It's the sense of having that short straw at the end and wondering, like, what more can I add to all of that? And it is all of the above. I was asked this question, actually, was it you, Sister Kalila? I think, yeah, someone sent me a message about what is spirituality. And I thought even in the effort to try and define it kind of restricts it or limits it or does something to the quality of it that we're really ultimately trying to explain. Because once we start to say spirituality is this to you, then that's what or some of us hold on to as the construct or the definition. So for me, spirituality is a personal thing as well as a collective thing. It's something that you, like I think what Edison was pointing to was that self-mastery. And that self-mastery means that you have to begin with at some point of going into the depth of who you are. And in terms of the essence, it's just being still enough at those critical times or any time to tune into that which is always there, which is your essence, your pure self that is communicating constantly with you. So for me, you have to be able to take that time to connect with the ultimate source. But everybody has said, really, from their point of view, and they've expressed the collective, we are individuations of the all, of the totality of everything. We are just we're joined, which is why that exercise, that first one, was an interesting one, because we were going in that rhythm, if you follow it. And I like to think of spirituality as well in that rhythmic sense, as Brother Dalian was saying. Everything is about rhythm and discipline as well. I find in my life the struggle is to be disciplined and do the same, try and do something over and over again the same time, get up at the same time, do your meditation, I struggle with that, but I understand that is one of the key to really tapping into that source that we're trying to connect with is to understand and respect the rhythm and the rituals that is the totality of life. I don't think there's anything, I think we've got it really, but it's just for me, just defining it and over-defining it kind of does something damaging a little bit to it.